You are listening to Power Marketing with Kevin Lee. Here's Kevin.
Ages ago, in 1992, when I was at McCann Erickson and I was on the account side, I had a great academic discussion with the director of media, where we were talking about media efficiency against the target audience. And he said something that I continue to remember to this day, which was essentially, at the right price, I'll buy any media, right? And because it was all about then doing the math on the back end to figure out, well, what was the effective cost against the target audience? And my counter argument, which again was really more for academic purposes, was, yeah, but then there's going to be a whole bunch of people who don't need dentures, who see denture advertising, and a whole bunch of people seeing diaper advertising who don't need diapers and will never need them or may not need them for years or have already gone past that stage. And he was like, yeah, but you have to focus on, the effective part of the audience, and there'll always be a waste factor, right? So how do you guys think about sort of that super narrow targeting where you have lower waste factor, but you're paying more, versus this idea that, well, we can go broader and include the serendipity, which you sort of mentioned, Marilois, where like, okay, a person sort of maybe stumbles across a creative message and they weren't perfectly on target, but maybe they will be in market at some point. So how do you think about that trade-off between cost and targeting on media?
I mean, I would circle back to Jenna's point that it's all about the return on ad spend or return on investment, but we think about it holistically. I can't not think about it holistically. Like, we can talk about the experimentation in various lines or segments or placements, but at the end of the day, as I said, people don't live in walled gardens. They don't live in lines. They don't live in audience segments. They cross. They're exposed to hundreds of touch points throughout the day. So if you make a sports analogy, sure, you can have a star quarterback. If he doesn't have a receiver, what good is the team? So I think, the way that we have that conversation is always across channel, across lines. And again, harken back to performance overall.
One of the benefits, Kevin, to working with the mid-market is these teams are so invested in the business outcome that one place where we have the privilege of kind of driving the strategy is on media budget allocation. So prioritizing those like highest yield audience and figuring out, how to reach them first and what is that going to cost. And in some cases, the quote unquote waste factor audiences that you're mentioning might be ripe for testing. You might learn something about folks or subsegments, subgroups of that larger kind of broader audience that you didn't know much about. And I think being able to prioritize how much you spend to sort of which groups of people, naturally the waste factor kind of falls into place. You can do it in a smart way.
I'm going to add something else to that. Hearing you, Jenna, is the value of modeling where you can tie online exposure to offline response is super helpful in that sort of waste conversation, because we've modeled, digital plans to business leads that may be happening on a phone or some other non-digital method. And when you think about the media mix in that way, and you're able to create those, robust advanced attribution models, then you can see where that what might look like digital waste because of those digital metrics is actually driving, a valuable response. It's just that you haven't been able to measure it digitally.
Kevin Lee's Power Marketing is available on all your favorite podcast networks. Kevin loves helping businesses excel at marketing. Having marketing challenges? Just like Santa in The Miracle on 34th Street, if Kevin can't help you, he'll know someone who can. Find him on LinkedIn, subscribe, or follow.